Night of the Jumps celebrated its 25th year of freestyle motocross competitions in the historic German city of Dresden, only a stone's throw away from the original location in Riesa back in 2001. 25 years ago, the very first night of the Jumps stunned the fans, featuring the legend Mad Mike Jones, and not to mention a very young German rider, Fabian Bauersachs, who was competing that night, and he's still here in Dresden 25 years later as the head judge. Dresden would mark the celebration of 25 fantastic years and a glimpse into what we can expect into the future for all of the fans at the pit party and in the grandstand. We kicked off with a surprise, and it was the 2010 world champion Libor Podmol who hit the ramp on his actual Dakar rally bike, pulling a backflip kiss of death, the trick that Mad Mike Jones invented and showing exactly why he's still a legend. To start the freestyle motocross qualifiers, Matej brought a new flip combo in his repertoire. While Marc Pinyol had a great 9 o'clock, they weren't able to make it to the final. Pat Bowden returned after 6 years and he brought a whole new bag of tricks with him. It was a masterclass in extension and style. Libor Podmol showed consistency with his perfect underflip to make the top 4 final with Pat Bowden. In the best whip competition, 6 riders would start, and that included Pat Bowden, Alex Bucholt from Australia, Hannes and Luc Ackermann from Germany, Matej Cesak and Matej. But the battle was between Pat and Matej, with the crowd narrowly giving the win to Matej Cesak. Alex Bucholt made his debut at Night of the Jumps with a solid run of old school uprights and backflip combos. While Hannes Ackermann returned to Night of the Jumps competition after years of injury and put together a solid run including the portiere flip. Matej Cesak needed to bring a clean run if he was to make the final, and he did just that, also bringing his first ever front flip knack-knack on the double up. Luc Ackermann just needed to land his regular tricks and finish with his double backflip to make to the final. The mountain bike, BMX and scooter best trick was always going to be wild, and it became a battle of the triple flippers. Lennox, Zimmermann and Tom Pfeiffer landed their triple flips again, and it was the young Reto Heine who also landed his first ever triple backflip. But it wasn't enough to beat the legend Alejandro Bonafe, who came with a twister on one jump and a tail whip cash roll on another. Eddie Fresh came here on the Simpson, the old DDR bike from the 1980s, to do the first ever backflip on a Simpson S51. But the biggest surprise was left for the second half of the show. Marc Pinyol came to land a new world record. It would be the highest backflip drop ever at 12 meters high. As the scissor lift went up to the full height, the platform was starting to sway in the wind. With everything in place, the crowd held their collective breath. Until Marc touched down to thunderous applause.
What just happened? I just landed the 12 meters drop flip for first time in the history, I guess. Oh yeah, here in Dresden, in Night of the Jumps. So I'm pumped. I just made a record, so that's heavy. The crowd gives me some extra motivation. When you are up there and you see everybody quiet, expecting something big, you are, dude, I have to deliver. I have to go for it, and I feel that I can do for it. So it's like this crowd deserve has been amazing all day. So we just did it for them also.
While Marc created history with the backflip drop, the fans wanted more, and the synchro competition didn't disappoint. In a three-way contest between the young guns of Bucky and Sapsa, up against Team Czech of Libor, Podmol and Matej Cesak, and the local German brothers Luc and Hannes Ackermann, it was always going to be close. But the higher difficulty tricks from the Ackermann brothers were enough for the win. And what a way to celebrate Hannes Ackermann's return to freestyle motocross since his horrific spate of injuries over the past 8 years to take a new trophy home with his brother Luc. The Freestyle Trampoline Association saw a tough competition between 4 international competitors, but it was the experience of Milko Abrahams who would take the best trick win here in Dresden at the second round. The FMX Top 4 final was going to be a slobber knocker with the synchro team of Libor, Podmol and Matej Cesak now competing against each other for a spot on the podium. Matej took to the hot seat first, and he would then watch Libor Podmol throw a solid run of technical combos, which was enough for Libor to take over the hot seat. Pat Bowden came to Dresden to make a statement, and he did just that. With his signature style and some of the biggest tricks, you could be forgiven for thinking it looks effortless on these cliffhanger backflips. Having not even attempted a front flip tsunami since he rode at Nitro World Games 8 years ago, Pat landed it perfectly, then going into a rock-solid backflip and finishing it on his double-up jump with the first ever double backflip for Pat on the World Tour Championship Series. Pat would take the hot seat, but could he keep his spot for long? With the FMX Terminator Luc Ackermann coming out as the last rider, anything could happen. With one of the biggest double flips with a knack-knack thrown in for good measure that we've ever seen, Luc was looking to hold on to his years-long unbeaten streak. But it was just not enough, and the Australian Pat Bowden finally broke the dominance that Luc has had over the night of the jumps competition. With Pat's big tricks, perfect extension and effortless style, he won over the judges to cement his win on this historic day. The 25th anniversary special was one for the books and a memory that will live on long for those who were there in Dresden. And here's to Night of the Jumps crew, the riders and the fans over the past 25 years and for another 25 years to come.